Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment has been under the watchful eye of President Richard Peddie for over 10 years. He recently announced he will step down in a year's time. Peddie's job is twofold. Firstly, to run the business of MLSE, and secondly, to hire the team managers that sign, trade, and draft players. While the business of MLSE has seen massive growth in terms of properties and going from 50 employees to over 2,500, that success has failed to translate into wins for their teams. Peddie is often the scapegoat for angry Toronto sports fans, but TSN personality Michael Landsberg says winning in sports is difficult, and Peddie shouldn't shoulder all the blame.
Yeah, I don't think you can generalize and say, well, this is the reason why we haven't seen success. I mean, the only common thing really is MLSE, and I don't believe, and I've never heard anyone suggest that Colangelo doesn't have free reign, and I've never heard anyone say that Brian Burke doesn't have free reign. So the answers to how Toronto sports can get better, I think you've got to take each case separately. And in the case of the Maple Leafs, it's really difficult to hang too much on Burke yet because he's only been in the job for 2 years. But certainly the near future, it's hard to be optimistic about it.
The search for Peddie's replacement is bound to be a difficult one. After all, how many people are qualified to run a $1.5 billion sports entertainment company? Landsberg says the successful candidate will probably have a business background rather than sports.
I think that when they look at that job, they'll look at it from a business standpoint, and sports knowledge will be secondary. I think you want a guy who's conversant in the language of sports, in particular hockey. But I think what they'll be looking for is someone who has the ability to run an organization like that. And I think more than anything, the ability to expand an organization like that. As we've read constantly over the last week since this story came out, it's all about new ventures and growing and trying to add value to it. And there's no question that in that area, Richard Peddie did a brilliant job.
When you consider MLSE already encompasses the Leafs, Raptors, Toronto FC, the Marlies, the Air Canada Centre, Real Sports Bar, and of course Leafs TV, Raptors TV, Goal TV, plus the new condos in Maple Leaf Square, how can Peddie's successor continue to grow the company?
Well, I mean, that's the question that would be answered by someone with little vision and say, well, it's kind of maxed out. But would that person have thought of the whole condo idea a few years back? Probably not. So, there's ideas out there that MLSE would have great leverage to execute that we've never thought of. And that's why we, as in you and I in this conversation, neither one of us is qualified to be the next president of MLSE. But, that's what entrepreneurs do. They see opportunity when others don't.